When I was a kid, my brother and sisters and dad and I decided that we were going to cut down a Christmas tree on our property. So we walked about a mile in the snow and post-holed through this snowdrift and that snowdrift and went from tree to tree and asking my dad, how about this tree? And he'd say, no, that's not the right tree. And then we'd go to another tree. How about this tree, Dad? No, that's not the right tree. Then one of us asked Dad, why not? These are great-looking trees. And he said, we want to leave the beautiful trees in the forest so God can enjoy His creation. Well, that didn't make much sense to us because we were trying to find the perfect tree for our house. That's what our mother told us to find. But in a minute, we found it, or at least Dad did. Dad said, here's the perfect tree. And then we went over and looked at it, all gathered around, and it looked more like a weed shooting up through the snow than it did a Christmas tree. But he said it was the perfect tree. We complained about it, and Dad said, no, listen, when your mom gets through decorating this tree, it'll be a beautiful tree. But it doesn't have any boughs on one side. Well, we'll just turn that towards the wall, he said. So we cut it down, took it back to the tree, took it in the house, and I remember a frown on my mom's face about that tree. But Dad was right. She began to work on that tree. We put it on a stand. We put a star on top. We put icicles hanging them down strategically here and ornament there and turn that bare spot to the back of towards the wall. And we all stepped back and Dad said, see, I told you, your mom can take this tree and make it beautiful. You know, I spent 18, 19 Christmases with my family around a tree. I don't remember a single tree except that ugly tree that winter. It reminds me of another tree. The reason we even celebrate Christmas is because of a tree that was outside of Jerusalem, a cross. We celebrate this season because of the manger, but we can't celebrate the manger unless there was a cross. And so I remember that tree, and I start to think about how that ugly tree became something different because of what someone did to that tree. The ordinary became extraordinary. The ugly became beautiful. The unwanted became wanted. The obscure became remembered. And that can happen again this year or in your home around your tree. You know the reason that we celebrate gifts under a tree is because of that rough-sawn, blood-soaked tree outside of Jerusalem. One no one wanted, but is now treasured. Not because of its own intrinsic value, but because by dying on that ugly tree, Jesus made it beautiful. Do you remember the old song that said, on a hill far away stood an old rugged cross, the emblem of suffering and shame. And I love that old cross, where the dearest and best for a world of lost sinners was slain. Linger at that ugly, ancient tree and receive your gift of acceptance, love, and hope.